Hi everyone, welcome back. And this is our signature segment, See the Stories. And today in this edition, we'll talk about coffee.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm a coffee drinker. I know that Yanni is not a coffee drinker, unfortunately. But you know, you want to enjoy a cup of coffee, and even before enjoying it, when you brew it, you can smell it, right? And from that smell of coffee, from what I know, you can tell whether it's a good one or not. So after a day of hard work and all that, or even when you wake up in the morning, you just want the best quality of coffee, right?
Right. You know, like Alia said, I'm not a coffee drinker, but our studio smells like coffee right now. Interesting, making me want to maybe try some more coffee. But anyways, to know more about coffee quality grading, we now have Edrick Edsel Wijaya in the studio with us, and he will explain more about becoming a coffee Q grader. Well, Edrick, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So excited.
Very
Maybe
excited.
he's going to be the one who, you know, turned me into a
Introduce you
coffee
to coffee.
drink.
But okay, Yanni, I
Yes.
just want to ask Yanni first because she is not a coffee drinker. Do you like the coffee smell?
I'm just going to tell you, it's really strong for me right now.
Oh, it's too strong for her.
It's too strong, but
Right.
again, I'm here to learn, so, you know, let's get right
Let's
into it.
yeah.
So, what is Q grader certification and what does it mean in the coffee industry? Could you explain more about it?
So as a Q grader, we grade coffee, of course, and we score the coffee and we give a cupping score, we call it. And so this cupping score, it shows the quality of the coffee in a lot of ways. And we can compare them from year to year, whether from the same farmer, whether the quality has changed or is it the same every year.
Yep.
And then we can also compare coffees from different places and different flavors too.
Right.
And so we can explain the coffee more to the farmers who grow it and also to the consumers who drink it.
Oh, so it does have, so they can take into account when you try to test the quality of the coffee, right? And then you tell them, okay, seems like this coffee with the same origin, let's say it comes from a certain place,
Yeah.
this has a little bit less, I don't know, citrusy flavor, not citrusy, but fruity flavor, let's say, for example. Would that be possible? And then you tell them maybe you should do something to improve in that, or something like that?
So we, when we taste the coffees,
Yeah.
we give descriptors.
Yeah.
The words like fruity or, you know, all the flavors that we taste, like citrus, as you said, chocolatey. And that can be good or bad, depends on what you like, right? Because coffee is a preference, like any
Yeah.
other food.
Uh-huh.
And so, like any other consumable goods, it doesn't really mean that this is better or not.
No, what I'm saying was actually, you know, where you have seasons, right? Does it change the profile of the coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, because there's so many factors into growing coffee, right?
Right.
And so even like something small as how much rain there is, that's going to affect the flavor of the coffee and the process.
Right, and the process. So you
And
mean
the
the
process.
roasting and all that?
There is what we call post-crop processing,
Right.
which is once they pick the cherries, it goes through a whole bunch of processes. And there's different processes in coffee.
Yeah.
And this actually determines the flavor in the coffee.
That is very interesting.
It is interesting.
Okay, so a Q grader is very, very important, right, for the coffee lovers, for the industry as well. So what are the key steps and requirements in order for somebody like you to become a Q grader?
So we take a 1-week course.
Okay,
And we have to pass 23 different kinds of tests.
23.
20
One of
programs.
them is a knowledge-based test, but the rest is sensory.
Okay.
So there is just different ways. But the most important test is being able to give scores to the coffee in terms of different elements of it, such as, you know, the flavor, the acidity, the
Yeah.
body, we call it.
Yeah.
And to be able to match the scores across our class and with the instructor.
Wow.
Because then we can give same scores as, say, a Q grader in Colombia. And that's important because then we can communicate well through that scoring system.
Okay, so within 1 week, that's usually do people just pass that test, or do they have to like do it again and again because
Do some people fail? Is
Yeah.
that
I
even-
failed.
You
I failed
failed.
one test.
Okay.
Yeah, I failed one test and I had to retake it a few months later.
So what was the thing that you need to sharpen? For example, is it your smelling ability? Is it your tasting ability? Was it your like, you have to also check the size of the beans and the color of it, right?
Yeah, so of course our ability to taste is important,
Yeah.
but it's actually the self-confidence.
Self-confidence.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's to be able to think that, okay, this score, the acidity is 8, and you're sure of it. Because when you're unsure, that's when you change the scores and it may not match your other classmates.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's
so what happens when you catch a cold or something and you cannot really smell anything?
Man.
Because sometimes, you know, we just have the flu, you know.
You know what? During my first test, I actually experienced a bit of numbness in my tongue.
Oh,
What happened to that? I mean,
was
what
really
happened?
nervous.
Oh, you were nervous.
Nervous, right? But then as you slowly do it more and more and more,
yeah.
that's why I passed the second test, because I was sure. I became more curious into tasting more different coffees
Okay.
and to open my mind more a bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now I need to know, does a Q grader need to have a specific skills and knowledge? Do you think, you know, if I want to do it, can I just go in, you know,
Not a
apply
coffee
and,
drinker
you know,
suddenly becomes a Q grader. That's something.
Can you imagine one whole week and 23 tests? Oh, that's a lot of tests. So is it open for anyone, and do you need skill and specific skills and knowledge?
You know, I believe Q grading is more practice. Because a lot of Q graders, they pass the first time because they have been in the coffee industry for a very long time.
I see.
But there are also some people who just, you know, want to challenge themselves in a way,
Yeah.
and they go in and they learn. And my instructor always say that the more you doubt yourself, the harder it is.
Yeah.
And so some of these people, they come in and, you know, they're just there to learn, and they're more self-confident, and they usually pass. It's
Yeah.
those who really have a lot of thoughts and questions in their minds that fail.
Less pressure, right?
That's pressure, that's what it is.
I just realized during the COVID-19 pandemic, where people could not go outside and go to the coffee shops and drink coffee, right? A lot of these so-called coffee heroes that wanted to have that kind of ability to know which coffee is suitable for them. They want to have a, you know, a customized sort of like, I don't know, the blend of the coffee so that it suits their taste. So these people, you mean, they went there and they just try to test themselves to become a Q grader.
Yeah, so it's because Q grading is a very specific position, but sometimes people don't look towards that.
Right.
They do more of just, they want to know more about coffee, I think.
What
That's
about,
the basis.
okay, so let's talk about coffee in Indonesia. I mean, you talk about the profile of coffee, you talk about the boldness, the fruity sense of it. Maybe there's this, what do you call it, the acidity. So do Indonesian people, which type of coffee profile do Indonesian people like?
The general public?
Yeah.
The general public, I think we still love stronger kinds of coffee.
Stronger, so bitter and strong, you mean?
Bitter and strong.
Not
like kopi
acid.
tubruk.
Like Kopi Tubruk.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. So
So it's more of a-
not the sachet.
Is that more of a
one.
Robusta or of a Arabica?
That's Robusta.
Robusta. Because we have a lot of Robusta in the country, right?
Yes, we produce a lot of Robusta.
Oh, okay. So what happens if there is no Q grader in coffee industry?
Then we would be just tasting coffee and having preferences, which is not a bad thing. But we do need some subset of rules
All right.
to improve the quality, and so that we can compare year to year. And those rules help us improve coffee quality every year.
Okay, so what happens to the single origin and the not single origin when it comes to like coffee grading and maybe coffee profile? Are they different? Because some people said, no, I want a single origin. I don't want coffee that is already being blended and all that in terms of its sources.
So with single origin, the flavor is clearer, because it's one type. It's like eating just a carrot instead of carrot in a dish.
Oh, got it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So the notes will be clear, and then you can also know, you know, the terroir of the farm better.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do some practice as well because
We get to try
Edrick,
too.
yeah.
We get to learn. Okay.
so you brought this one, Edrick.
Yes, I did.
What is it called?
It's a kettle.
It's a kettle, just a kettle. There's a specific name for that. Okay, but we're going to do some kind of a coffee, what do you call it again? Tasting?
Cupping.
Cupping.
And that's going to be after the break, so stay tuned. Coffee cupping, that's it. I thought it's called like... and it's only a kettle.